Hey guys, what's going on? This is part 3 of my weight loss journey. This particular video is from month 6 to month 12, and this is a really interesting period. And this was full of self-discovery for me, and eventually the penny dropping, as it did with my alcoholism. You know, you just get that moment where something just clicks into place and you just get a total understanding of where you're at, what you need to do, and I certainly got that in this period. So, as I say, this is month 6 to month 12. Now, what happened in the previous month, my weight loss started to slow down rapidly. And this was because, but I didn't know at the time, but this was because I was basically starving myself, you know, intaking some days as low as 800 calories. And at most, you know, a bad day for me would be like 1300 calories. And burning probably 500 to 600 calories in exercise that day. Again, completely broken thinking. Now the problem was, as I hit month 6, with the weight loss starting to slow down, the way I dealt with that was by eating even less, which is just ridiculous. And you know, and you're talking to people, friends, and that, and they're just saying, look, you are not eating enough. Your body's going into starvation mode. You're doing this completely wrong. And it's, you know, you're getting the opposite results from what you expected. But again, I didn't listen. You know, you just think, no, I know myself. I'll just do it my way. And eventually, I just carried on, and the weight loss completely stopped. And I was like, okay. So I trained even harder. I did try to up my calories a little bit, but feeling guilty. You know, you'd add 300 calories on in a day, and I would feel completely guilty about it. So I think probably after a full month 6 to 7, my body had come to a complete standstill, and then the dreaded thing happened. I was still doing everything I was doing, and the weight started to come back on. You know, it would only be like a pound a week or whatever, £1.50 a week. And I was like, fucking hell, what is going on? This is a disaster. Now, this on top of my alcoholism, you know, quitting, you know, as I say, 6-7 months into that, that's hard enough. And that really started to mess with my head. And you think of giving up, and, you know, and you're in danger of relapsing and just throwing it all away, jumping on the scales twice a day, all that rubbish. So it got to a point where what I actually did was I stalled my metabolism. Now, I've heard of this happening before. It's a pretty weird thing to do to yourself, I've got to say. I was being told by people that that's what would happen, and I'm like, no, I know best. But basically, yeah, your body doesn't know where the next food's coming from, so it just starts storing everything, and you get bloated. Your fat stores start to increase. You're not burning fat in your exercises. You're basically doing all the hard work and absolutely nothing is happening. Well, the reverse is happening, because your body's just not letting go of anything. So I really messed my body up. And as I say, that then messed my head up. And I think it was month 7, which was my worst month in my journey so far, where I went to dark places again with it. I didn't relapse, you know, but I was hanging on by a thick thread, basically. So I had to put it right, and people were telling me what I needed to do. But again, you know, it was waiting for my brain to kick into gear and understand what I'd done to myself and what I needed to do to make things better. Excuse me. So I sat down and I listened to people, and I was given a diet basically of what to eat every day, with the right amounts of carbs, proteins, and fats, and what have you, and calories. And I was like looking at this, and I was thinking, you know, that's like 2,000 calories. I can't eat that much. And again, it's going back to this broken thinking that the more I eat, even though it's way under what I should be eating, is only going to make me fatter. Horrible place to be. But anyway, I had nowhere to go. I'd backed myself right into a corner with this, and I knew that this actually could destroy my sobriety, which was my biggest worry. And I just felt myself going back to places I'd been in the past with dieting. And as I say, the darkness had descended, and it was like, oh my God. So the way I got out of this was, as I said, I got a diet put together, and it's a very basic diet. It was so easy. But I had to make sure that I was disciplined enough to do that diet and to do it every day. Now I also, or with the help of a friend, also realised I needed to kickstart my body again, to basically unplug it, leave it 30 seconds, plug it back in, and for my body to reboot. And the way I chose to do this was by doing a water fast. Again, you have to do your own research on these things. It's not for everyone. A lot of people will just hear the word water fast and think you're an idiot, you'll die from that. I'm not selling anything. You know, all I can say is it worked for me. I've done a couple since then, and it's the ultimate reboot for my body and mind. Basically, it is what it says on the tin. You live on water for a set period of time. What people don't realise is people can do these for 30 days, you know, under medical supervision and what have you. As long as you're drinking enough water, your body doesn't actually need food in this period of time. I couldn't do anything near 30 days, but I'd planned to do 5 days. I thought that's what I could do. First time I've ever done it, and I won't go into it because it's quite detailed, but yeah, I did it, and I ended up doing 3 full days of a water fast, and it was fantastic. Bloody hard work, obviously, but it's one of those things where it's an uphill struggle. First day 1, day 2 you feel amazing, day 3 you feel amazing, but then I started to get the hunger, and the key thing is when your body's telling you need to eat, then just eat, you know. So that's the way I rebooted, and this was all mapped out. This is what I was going to do. I was going to do a water fast, and then as soon as that was over, I was going to start eating this diet. So as I say, I did that for 3 days, and the basic diet was for breakfast, get up, have your breakfast, which was 3 slices of wholemeal bread, 2 covered with peanut butter and 1 covered with Marmite. Dead easy, quite tasty, quite enjoyable to eat. Did that. Then I introduced smoothies, mainly fruit, but a bit of veg in there as well. Never done that before, wasn't my thing. Couldn't be asked doing it. It was too much hassle. Even buying frozen fruit from a supermarket and just blending it. It was just all, you know, my mentality was wrong. It's just like, I can't be asked doing this. So anyway, decided to commit to that. So I threw a smoothie in there every day. And it was and you know, it was just more balanced meals instead of dieting and just doing as little calories as you could. It was about sort of just, you know, eating more but of the right things, you know, more fruit and veg, obviously, and you know, good wholesome food, you know, potatoes, fish, all the good stuff. So that's what I did, and slowly that got me back on track. First of all, the thing that really mattered to me was obviously the scales. And I think after a couple of weeks, the weight stopped putting on. Just interestingly, I actually ended up putting 7 pounds back on over that period, from stalling and then just maintaining and then increasing. So that's half a stone I put on. You know, and as you can imagine, if you're doing all the hard work, also what you think's hard work, exercising, not eating and all that, and you put half a stone on, it's like, it just messes with your head. So I'll say over a period of probably 2 weeks, the weight started to come down a pound, you know, a pound here, £2 there. And then I started to relax because I realised that my metabolism was working again. I calmed the exercise down, you know, I didn't have to burn myself out 7 days a week. You know, I was going on hikes where you could burn 2,500 calories doing an 8-9 mile hike. You know, you'd be out on the hills for 5 hours. You know, and I wasn't eating enough to fuel my body to do this. It was all about kind of starving. That was the equation in my head. The less calories you eat, the more weight you lost. And as I've just explained, that is really not the case. That's not how it works. And if you continue down that, you're just setting yourself up for a fall. So the key facts from month 6 to 12, at the end of it, with all that said, from coming into that period in a really bad place, putting that extra weight on and what have you, but when I got to month 12, I'm just reading this, I had lost another 26.5 pounds. So, you know, looking from the outside in, that's awesome. You know, that's another load of weight off. But the important thing I want to emphasise is, towards the end of this period, I was just feeling so much better. My calorie intake was up at anything from 1,800 to 2,200. It was better food. I was eating at the right times. I'd pulled the extreme exercise right back, and I just felt so much better in myself. Obviously, as I told you, I went to quite a dark place on month 7. That lifted, and the positivity came back to me, and the realisation, you know, you were 8, 9, 10, 11 months sober, you're coming up for a year, and just everything started to get good again. And basically I was getting very close to the penny dropping, and because I had a really good understanding of how my body works now, and especially because you're sober. You know, as I say, I've done all this many times before, or lost vast amounts of weight in the past, but it was always while I was drinking. And now you're not drinking, and I was really able to process what was going on with my body and get a much better understanding. Even certain type of foods that I would eat would have some could have an adverse effect on me. I then began to realise because during this period I was still having treats. You know, I'd still have a cheat day or whatever, you know, which would be on probably a Saturday, where I'd treat myself to have a takeaway and stuff. But I actually could do that because I was doing it right and eating decent stuff and not killing myself in the gym and what have you. You know, I was still losing weight steadily, and the weight loss started to come off a lot slower. And, you know, 1 to 1.5 pounds a week, which is, you know, that's what they say is the ideal amount of weight to lose per week. So I kind of got myself bang on track with that. And I was really chuffed. I was really chuffed, and I was in a great place. And I'll say that takes us to 12 months where, you know, you're celebrating a year sober. I look back and I'd lost 50, 60 or 65 pounds or something like that. So you sat there, I'm you know, patting myself on the back, and it was just all good. It was all good. So that's pretty much for 6 to 12 months. But again, things start to change again. But I'll end this video now because I just wanted to talk about this period of time. So again, thanks for watching.